By show of hands, how many people here have travelled overseas? How many people have done it without their parents? Okay, well today, Jerry, Pablo and myself are going to give you our personal experiences and opinions on why you should all travel overseas. We believe it is important for you to travel now while you're in college, and have broken up our topics accordingly. Pablo will be discussing why you should travel separate from your parents, either with your peers or independently, but by yourself. Darren will be talking about why you should travel internationally or overseas, not just domestically here in the States. And I'm going to be talking to you why you should travel now at this age while you're still young. We believe there are three major benefits that interrelate to each topic and will be further explored today. Firstly, experiencing different cultures, going out and seeing the world and seeing what's different out there. Secondly, discovering yourself and seeking independence. And lastly, most importantly, enjoyment, having fun and making memories that are going to last a lifetime. These concepts will be explored throughout each speech. Bit of background on me, I personally own 2 passports, one Australian and one English. I've travelled to over 20 different countries and have travelled every continent except for Africa. Obviously I did this when I was little with my parents, and now as I've got older and gone independent, I've gone by myself with my friends, and I can attest to all the benefits that we portray here today. As the saying goes, you're only young once, and there's no better time than the present. As a college student, this is the perfect time to go out, have fun, reap the rewards of travel with limited responsibilities. There are also many incentives to travel that won't be there later in life. Things like student flights and accommodation, cheap deals at bars and clubs, and just student living in hostels. These opportunities won't be there forever, and as our topics will outline, the experience and the fun just won't be the same. Firstly, different cultures. Whilst we're still students and we're young, we have the energy and the general overall health to conquer different climates and conditions. A lot more so than previously in life, and definitely more so than in the future. Our current age makes it the perfect time to take on these challenges and seek to explore the world. And as will be touched on by members later, it's the perfect age as legal restrictions overseas aren't as much of an obstacle as they are here in the United States. Whilst it may seem that your view on the world is accepted and normal here, when adapted to a different culture and a different way of life, it can be a lot different and be a bit of a culture shock. For me, leaving Australia and going out and absorbing these other cultures and ways of life has definitely given me a worldly view and opened my eyes to other ways of living. Discovering yourself and becoming self-reliant or independent is probably the biggest advantage of travelling for the young people. As we're all at this age, we're still trying to figure out what we want to do with our life and who we are and what we want to become. This is a problem we all face at this age, and going out and seeing the world can only enhance this experience or rapidly make it easier for you to discover who you are. It teaches you to problem solve and not have the safety net of familiar surroundings or people to rely on. And it forces you to communicate and break down barriers with people and get what you want. And to get what you want, forcing you to become social and get out of your comfort zone. You haven't lived until you try to explain to a Spanish man for over half an hour the difference between jam and ham. Going out and seeing the world teaches you there are bigger problems than your own, and to be grateful for what you have. As you can see here, when you run around with the kids, just giving them simple shelter and a bit of food, something that we take for granted every day. It was pretty humbling and teaches you there's more to life than what you have. Most importantly, as these 2 photos show, it's the enjoyment and the fun that you get from going overseas and seeing new things. Again, travelling at this age only enhances your ability to create long-lasting memories and relationships and friendships that are going to last a lifetime. It teaches you to go out and see people that have the similar beliefs, similar values, share the same things as you can have fun with and get along with all at the same time. This is definitely the most evident now while we're young. After college, there's going to be different friendship group, different life, probably job, and definitely a lot more responsibilities. There's no time like now to just go overseas with a couple of friends and really take in the magic of another country. It's an unbelievable feeling to be sitting in a bar in London or on a beach in Barcelona or making a speech in Delaware with friends both old and new. There's no better incentive than that. Lastly, it's also a great way to network and expand your knowledge and way of looking at the world. It is better to go out and gain this experience now while you're young than read about it in a book 10 years later, or have to even watch it on TV 10 years later. As will be touched on by Darian later, it's not as expensive as you might think, and as will be touched on by Pablo, it helps you mature and become a well-rounded individual a lot quicker. Our current age makes it the perfect time to travel. It's easy to adapt to different cultures. You're able to discover yourself and become self-reliant, teaching you the basics for later life. And most importantly, you will definitely have the most fun traveling anywhere right now while you're young and you can still have a bit of fun. Pablo will now talk to you about why you should travel separate from your parents.
So why by yourself or with friends? I currently carry two passports, Colombian and American, and I've lived exclusively in both countries for over 10 years of my life. Besides these two countries that I have set foot on, I have also set foot in what we call Panama, Peru, and Italy. Now, while many people may be reluctant to travel without parents, I can tell you the benefits are excessive when separated for a number of reasons that I will outline to you today. If I ask you if you'd rather go to the movies with your parents or a group of friends, majority of you, I would say 9 out of 10 will say with your friends. There's just many things that you can do with your friends that you wouldn't with your parents. And that's what we thrill for. This is the exact same principle for traveling. Everything is more fun without your parents. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Traveling overseas without parents takes us out of our own comfort zone that we are so used to when we are at home, especially if we live with parents. Or if we don't anymore, how we remember when we used to live with parents. This entitles us to make our own decisions on what to eat on our trip, where to go, and what to do at whatever time we like. See, we're here at a beach, pretty much parents will say, let's get up at 7 in the morning, we have the whole day. I went with my friends over here to Miami. We decided to sleep in about to 12 and then start our day till then and have it up to nighttime, which with your parents you wouldn't be able to at all, for the most part. The ability to take in different cultures is heightened with thinking and making decisions for yourself. This aids in creating new friendships and relationships with locals of visiting countries. As we are more out and about, and we have the opportunities to interact with who is around us, because we will be spending more time with others around us rather than following orders from our parents on where to go, what to eat, and whatever time they want to do it. Seeking independence and finding yourself is exclusive to traveling without parents. Leaving behind what you find familiar and safe allows you to test decision making by yourself and test your ability in unfamiliar situations. Especially the younger, the better you will learn these life skills. Enjoying yourself and having fun as well. We all know it's extremely difficult with your parents looking over your shoulder. Sometimes we feel a little awkward. We all have been with our parents since birth, so we have countless memories with them already. Traveling with a friend or clique to a foreign country especially will inevitably create new memories, fun experiences, and the new people that we are unfamiliar surrounding us now. Lastly, stress levels are drastically lowered when traveling with your friends. Traveling forgets all about your stress, makes you forget all about your stress, and you begin to laugh, be more amazed with what's around you, and enhance the new experiences around all the new people that you'll be meeting, or just see around as you people watch a new place. Traveling independently allows you to embrace and understand different cultures more exclusively, and definitely allows you to have a lot more fun and create more comical memories with your friends, or even newfound friends wherever you are. And obviously, you will become more of your own person when you separate from your own comfort zone, which that is your parents. Over here, I was in Panama. I was only 15 years old, but I went with my cousins over to Panama, and we found much of a thrill as we were very young and didn't have our parents there. And due to being able to accordingly plan our own sightseeing and to do this our own preference and pace during our trip, is something that we were able to make much more enjoyment out of, and we'll never forget. We were in a country that we never been there before, no nor a single landmark in. And due to being us without our parents, that just added more of a thrill to the trip. The area will now be telling you the benefits of traveling overseas.
Today I'll be talking about traveling abroad. I have plenty of experience when it comes to traveling. I lived in 2 countries, the US and Brazil, and I visited more than 5 different countries, including the US and Brazil. I also traveled Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay. I traveled here in America as well, and got to know many different states, which was quite an experience, but I definitely recommend leaving the country. Each time I was educated on different parts of cultural norms and societal views, and created memories that are still with me today. This picture is in Uruguay, Montevideo. This is in San Rafael, Argentina, and that's in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So why travel abroad? Traveling just to the world brings excitement. While just traveling down the road to the beach can bring a new level of excitement, nothing compares to traveling overseas and being completely immersed in another country's norms and way of life. The best benefit of traveling is getting to know different cultures. Trying new foods and drinks, learning new religions are all benefits when traveling around the world. When I was traveling in Argentina, I realized it's part of their culture to take a 2 or 3 hour nap in the middle of the day. It's called siesta. My first impression was that people were just being lazy, but the truth is that historically, the Argentinians value family FaceTime. Eating together as a family is more important to them than maximizing work by just eating a sandwich in the desk. Being aware of cultural values and norms is not only fascinating, but also is an important skill to be able to shift perspectives and see where someone else is coming from. Cultural sensitivity will help you with the communication on both business and personal levels. Another benefit of traveling abroad is to be immersed in a second or third language. Being able to learn a new language can be extremely important for your future. I personally speak 3 languages, Portuguese, Spanish, and English, and traveling to all these countries and being engaged in the colloquial language improved my skills and ability to get better in all the languages. So when traveling abroad, the best way to do is alone. As Pablo mentioned before, you can go wherever you feel like going, and you can make your own choices. Traveling around the world independently has many benefits. Some are expanding your knowledge, easier to relate with others, it's easy to make friendships or even relationships. Absorbing people and culture, real-life education, leaving your comfort zone, and having the opportunity to network. This all leads to shaping you as a person and your personality. All these adventures intensified when traveling overseas. Visiting the world is something unique. For some, it can be a once-in-a-lifetime. You can always travel inside your country, but I guarantee you it's not the same. Traveling abroad brings different kind of fun not found here in America. For example, the legal age is different in many countries. If you want to go to a nightclub or have a beer, you don't have to be 21. In most of the countries, 18. Where I come from, you can buy beer with 15, or just give the guy a lip tip. Traveling generally brings many benefits. But when you have a chance to visit different parts of the world, you have a fulfilled book of memories. Last and probably the biggest question for some of your mind is cost. I can assure you that traveling is not as expensive as you think, especially with the strength of the American dollar. With student flights and accommodation deals, managing your money is made extremely easy. Me and Cameron both only worked part-time jobs to afford our travels. Effective budgeting and planning is all that is needed. So in conclusion, the best way is to travel abroad. Being able to travel the world alone, getting to know new cultures, and making memories for life is something everybody should experience at least once. Don't wait around to travel the world. It's hand-on experience that cannot be exchanged. Enjoy life while you're young today. So Cameron talked about traveling different ages, and Pablo about being at a young age, and Pablo about being by yourself, and I mentioned traveling abroad. And thank you for listening. Now we'll be talking, and I'll be taking some questions. Yeah, the more the better. Of course, the more you stay, it's more expensive. But if you go to Europe, you can't go for 1 week. Because in Europe, you can get a train to visit another country in less than 40 minutes. So I recommend 3 weeks to 1 month, maybe.
Do you think the reason why people don't travel because of the finance of it, part of it?
Well, it's interesting, when I first came here, everyone in Australia when they're 18 or 19, and even my family back in England, they all have that incentive to travel. Like straight away they just get a job or whatever, and they straight away want to go. Whereas here, it wasn't as much of a thing to like go to Europe or go to South America or something like that. So I don't think it's the money, I think it's just the cultural difference, it's ingrained in us to try and do it and go and see the world, whereas here it's not so much.
Where would you recommend the most beneficial travel, like cost-wise, experience-wise, for students?
I would say definitely most of the South American countries. If you break the dollar there, it will maybe even double at times. Same thing as Central America. Mexico has a lot of resorts in the Cancun area, and your dollar will be worth very strong there.
Where was your favorite place to travel? If you could tell me to go anywhere, where would you choose?
We'll each do ours. One was Croatia.
Mine was all South America, actually. Brazil and Argentina, especially because my family's from there. It's just beautiful.
For me, it was in Panama because they speak the same language, but at the same time, it's different culture. And I was so young that I learned so much about it from what I was used to.
Would you say it's better like to plan out activities to where you're going, or just go there and do whatever on the fly?
I've heard both. Both have like worked for people. When I went, I was like we had a set plan, but we only had a short bit of time. But when you kind of have like a month or 2 months or even a year, people just play it off the cuff, just see what happens. Where they like, they stay a little bit longer. Where they don't like, they maybe leave a little bit quicker. I reckon whatever, depending on the time, I'd say whichever one you want. But yeah. No more?
How much would you think you have to save up in order to go to Brazil?
So if you buy the flight for like 6 months earlier, maybe less, you can get it for $500, $600. Now I've tried to buy a flight to Brazil for next week. It's gonna be more than 1,000. So first of all, it's the ticket, and especially $1 American is worth 3 over there. We're called Brazilian real. So you don't need a lot of money because it triples your money. Mostly it's a plane ticket. But if you buy it for 6 months or maybe even more, you can get it for $400, $500, $600.
That's pretty much the general rule. It's always going to be the flight ticket. Once you get a flight ticket, you can do it everywhere, especially with the US dollar, you'd be good with $500 probably, depending on how you go for it.
When you go on the podcast, how do you guys get into like reality stars as well?
When it's like that, then you do have to plan accordingly on planify where you'll stay, where you go, where you'll be, especially your parents are going to be worried about you, especially if you're a minor as well. So when trying to help parents, it is most beneficial to planify your whole trip and each day, day by step, have your budgeting and as well as where you will go.
Google Maps.
Do you guys like traveling around a certain time?
I mean, usually summer, but that's just kind of a general rule for me. But a lot of people go, like, a lot of people love winter and snowing, so they go do the ski seasons like everywhere, like Canada and then in Europe, in Germany and stuff. But so it depends what you like, I guess.
And there's also high and low seasons, especially for plane tickets. In summer, it's more like June, July, the plane tickets are a little more expensive. And it's easier to buy on Tuesdays and Wednesdays instead of the weekends. It's a little more cheaper, and especially on low season, so maybe May or maybe after the summer, that would be the best option.
I would say also, depending where you are going, because if we're in winter time here, in many South American countries, it will be summer. So if you want to go to get away from the cold and go to like a beach down in Brazil, it'll be the best to go when your winter time and meet their summertime.
We got one more question. So.